An American girl's worst nightmare begins with a feeling, eyes watching from the dark. What she thought was paranoia becomes a chilling reality. Shadowy figures in the night, footsteps echoing behind her. Midnight phone calls with nothing but silence. And then, murder. Now Debby must run, fight and survive, as the night echoes with her screams in this true crime-inspired serial killer drama titled Run, Debby, Run. The rain tapped gently against the glass windows of the university cafe, like it was mimicking the soft ache in Debbie Greenberg's chest. She stared at the lukewarm coffee before her. The froth long dissolved into a dull swirl of beige. Her brown eyes, usually lit with brightness, now looked clouded, haunted. Across from her, Matthew Conrad sat stiffly, his jaw clenched, his eyes bloodshot from unshed tears or lack of sleep. Debby wasn't sure which. "So, this is it," he said, his voice low, brittle. Debby nodded slowly, brushing a strand of her dark brunette hair behind her ear. "Yes, Matthew. I'm sorry, but I can't do this anymore. We've both changed. It's not like it used to be. We fight too much, and I feel like I'm walking on eggshells around you. I need space to find myself again." Matthew stared at her in silence, his knuckles white around his coffee cup. "But I love you," he said flatly. "I know," she whispered. "But sometimes love isn't enough when everything else is broken." 2 years, 2 full years of late-night conversations, winter walks through Central Park, and whispered promises had led to this single moment, quietly imploding over lukewarm coffee and broken words. She expected him to argue, to beg, maybe even get angry, but he didn't. He just stared at her with a strange hollowness, nodded once, and left. A week passed. Debby returned to her routines: early morning lectures, late-night study sessions, and movie marathons with her flatmate Amy. She kept her days full, pushing down the silence left behind by Matthew's absence. But then the strange things began. It started small. One evening after studying late in the library, she noticed a figure across the street, a tall silhouette cloaked in the dark. It didn't move, didn't wave, just stood still, facing her. She blinked. Then it was gone. The next night, the same thing. A dark figure at the edge of her vision, never close enough to identify, but never truly gone. Amy laughed it off when Debby mentioned it. "Maybe your brain's messing with you. Exam stress, post-breakup blues, caffeine overdoses, you name it." Debby tried to believe her, but then came the phone calls, each night at around the same time. Her phone would ring, a private number. She'd pick up only to be met with silence, not even breathing, just a deadline. Fear crept in, wrapping itself around her like fog. She jumped at every sound, avoided walking home alone, and made sure Amy always knew where she was. The once warm halls of the New York University began to feel like a maze of shadows and echoes. Then came Harry. He was sweet, funny, and intelligent. A handsome blonde with charming dimples and a playful smirk. They'd worked together on a science project and clicked instantly. When he asked her out for a movie night, Debby felt a flutter in her chest she hadn't felt in months. The date was perfect. Harry made her laugh so hard she cried. They shared popcorn, whispered jokes during the film, and walked hand in hand back to her off-campus apartment. It felt normal, beautifully normal. That night, Debby gushed to Amy about how dreamy the date had been. Amy teased her, grinning. "Harry and Debby has a nice ring to it, like a couple from a teen romance flick." They both laughed. But by morning, that laughter was gone. Harry was found dead in his apartment, stabbed. The news spread like wildfire. Debby saw his face on every television screen, every headline. Her knees buckled when she heard. Amy caught her, held her, stayed by her side all day. Debby barely slept. Each creak of the floorboards, each shadow under the door felt like a threat. The figure continued appearing, at a distance, always watching. One night, walking past the train tracks near campus, she heard footsteps behind her, slow, measured. She picked up her pace. The steps quickened. Her heart slammed against her ribs as she broke into a sprint, cutting through a dark alley. She turned to look. Someone in a black hoodie, face covered, was chasing her. She tripped. Her ankle twisted as she hit the ground hard. Pain surged through her leg. The figure was beside her in seconds, strong hands wrapping around her neck, squeezing. She tried to scream, but the pressure stole her breath. Then, light. A flashlight's beam cut through the dark. A man's voice called out, "Is someone there?" The attacker released her and bolted into the shadows. The stranger rushed to her side, calling the police as he helped her up. Debby's throat burned. When she got home, Amy's face turned white at the sight of the bruises on her neck. She cried while tending to her. The police came the next morning. They questioned Debby thoroughly and urged her to remain indoors while they investigated. Days passed. Debby tried to stay calm, but every noise sent her into panic. One afternoon, she heard a knock. She'd ordered pizza. Expecting the delivery guy, she opened the door with a smile. It dropped instantly. Standing there was the figure. The black hoodie, the mask, the knife. She screamed and ran for the kitchen. He followed, slamming the door shut. Her hands fumbled for a knife. He struck her across the face, and she collapsed against the counter. Utensils crashed to the floor. He stood over her, breathing heavily. She managed to knock off his mask and froze. Matthew. His eyes were wild, lips curled into a twisted grin. "You're still so beautiful," he whispered, dragging the knife slowly along her arm, not cutting, just feeling. "I couldn't stand seeing you smile with him, with Harry. That should have been me. Always me." "You killed him?" she choked. "Of course I did," Matthew said with a laugh. "He made you happy. I couldn't allow that. No one gets to make you happy but me." He ranted, then paused. His face turned strangely vulnerable. "You want to know why I am this way? You think I'm just some monster, right?" Debby said nothing. He continued. "When I was little, I used to hide under the staircase while my dad beat my mom. I heard every punch, every scream. Sometimes she'd beg him to stop. Sometimes she'd go quiet. I thought if I was quiet too, he wouldn't find me." He chuckled bitterly. "I used to cry myself to sleep, every night. I hated him. Swore I'd never be like him. But that mess, it stuck. Got into me like poison. I grew up broken, Debby. Twisted. I don't know how to love right. I only know how to hold on." He crouched beside her. "But I never wanted to hurt you. I wanted to love you. I needed you. You made me feel alive, like I could be more than the shadows I came from." "You need help," Debby whispered. "I need you," he said, deadly calm. "Never!" she yelled. "You're a psychopath." She kicked the knife out of his hand, sending it skittering across the tiles. Then shoved him and ran, but not fast enough. He picked up the knife and slashed her leg. She fell, screaming. "Let me go! I can't, Debby. I love you. Don't you get it? We're meant to be." Writhing in pain, Debby remembered a movie she'd seen. She feigned weakness, waited for the right moment, then kicked him hard between the legs. He let out a deep howl, couldn't move. She grabbed the knife and slashed it across his shoulder. Her phone was on the couch. She grabbed it, then ran out the door. Bleeding and gasping, she screamed for help, limping into the hallway and dialing up the police. Matthew tried to follow, but sirens blared moments later. He was tackled to the ground by officers. It was over. Matthew was arrested, charged with murder, attempted murder, and stalking. The trial revealed his disturbing obsession, the lengths he went to surveil and torment her. The university community was shaken, but Debby survived. She was safe now, even though she still had shades of fear within. With Amy's unwavering support, she pushed through therapy, healing day by day. Graduation came, and they walked the stage together, holding hands, smiling through the memories of what they had endured. Harry was gone, but not forgotten. She would visit the park alone most days and just sit there thinking of him and how much she missed him. And once broken by fear, Debby emerged stronger than she had ever been. She had faced the shadows and won. If you found this story interesting and want more, please like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.